Our reporter Khaled Al-Subaihi is still on his mission to lose 20 kilos in 3 months, but this week he wanted to know more about the eating habits of older people in the country, seniors who've managed to live very long, healthy lives. So what's the trick to living a long, healthy life, Khaled?
A lot of tender love and care to begin with, Ramya. The late Sheikh Zayed taught us that in order to chart a successful future, we would need to know our past. Let's look into the past for more solutions to weight loss.
These muscles are weak, actually.
The fight for a slimmer, more healthier me continues. But while I wait to reap the benefits, I thought I'd dig deep into the past to find out how my ancestors kept fit and slim. Who knows? Maybe there could be a long-lost solution to all our present-day obesity blues. I mean, any Googled search would show you that the act of dieting wasn't very common until the 1800s, simply because people who were overweight were not very common. I decided to pay a visit to some of the country's most oldest and respected families in the UAE. A trip deep in the UAE's desert should do it. Located south of Al-Dhaid in the interior of Sharjah, Al-Madam is one of the oldest inhabited areas of Sharjah. The area boasts evidence of human habitation since the Iron Age. Mubarak Awad bin Umair invites us for a luncheon with the elders of his tribe, the Kitbis. After a traditional roast lunch, the elders spoke of the old ways that provided them with eternal health and a long life.
We used to be on the move all the time, take the coal and wood to the town and trade and bring dates, rice and coffee.
When asked what they did for exercise,
we exercised every day to survive. We would walk, work and chop wood. We traveled to Sharjah, Dubai and Ajman on foot. That was our exercise.
I asked what they used for medicine in their time.
We had no medicine, but dates, camel milk and fire cupping.
Even modern doctors continue to discover new medical uses for camel milk. Did you know that camel's milk inhibitors can be used to treat HIV patients, can help fight hepatitis, can be used as an effective treatment against food poisoning, contains insulin, making it a prime partner against diabetes, and has more protein, more vitamin C, and less fat than cow's milk? The treasures of the past were bountiful, and the day ended with a trip to Muhammad Harab al-Utaba's camel farm for a healthy drink from the past. An experience of a lifetime. Rami, I'm feeling better already.
Have the chance to catch a glimpse of the Webb Ellis Trophy. 20 nations will be fighting for it when the IRB Rugby World Cup gets underway in France later this year. Khaled Al-Subaihi shows us the sought-after cup.
Rugby fans in Dubai who are eagerly awaiting for the start of this year's IRB Rugby World Cup in France can get an early taste of the magic of the cup. For the first time in Dubai, the Dubai Exiles Rugby Football Club is hosting the authentic Webb Ellis Cup. And I'll tell you, it's a sight to see. Members, players, and families are all keen to get as close as possible to the very soul of the sport. But mind you, kids, no touching.
A huge privilege, you know, as a kid growing up, I first saw the cup lifted in '87, you know, when New Zealand took the crown, but it's come a long way since then, and being an Englishman standing next to the cup is a huge honour, seeing as we last won it in Sydney in 2003. I think I'm probably going to be the closest Englishman to it for a couple of years.
And the visit of the Webb Ellis Cup in Dubai couldn't have come at a better time. Dubai has just recently been awarded the 2009 Rugby World Cup Sevens, ahead of an impressive list of candidates that included Australia, Russia, the Netherlands, and the USA.
A couple of weeks ago we had the Rugby Sevens World Cup announced was going to be in Dubai 2009. This is a huge event, happens every 4 years, separate to the normal Sevens trophy.
The Dubai-hosted Rugby World Cup Sevens in 2009 will also be the first to incorporate a women's competition. Candy Fanucci, a rugby player herself, looks forward to the great event and discusses women's involvement in the sport.
I think people live under the concepts, you know, that it's very thuggery. It's not always that good to watch, but it's great to play. Great for fitness. We train twice a week for 2 hours here at the grounds, and it's growing. You know, it's a team sport, which is so, you know, unique. And Dubai especially, we've got the facilities to do it at the moment.
The story of William Webb Ellis himself has achieved legendary status in the history of rugby. The story of how he founded the game is unsubstantiated, But nevertheless, he has been credited with introducing running with the ball in hand, and has become immortalized by the trophy presented to the winners of the Rugby World Cup. Despite the unresolved debate of whether Webb Ellis should be accredited as the creator of the rugby game, the facts here are simple. The cup is here in Dubai, the cup was named after him, and in a few months, it will be the prize of the Rugby World Cup. Khaled Al-Subaihi, Emirates News.
A sandstorm swept into the UAE yesterday and today, leaving skies very hazy. The gusty winds blew up sand and dust in most parts of the country, but for some people, life carried on normally. Khaled Al-Subaihi has more.
A sandstorm swept into the UAE yesterday, leaving today's skies hazy and the city blanketed under a film of ochre-colored dust. People in the UAE experienced dust storm winds with speeds of up to 30 knots or 55 kilometers per hour. As a result of a developing low-pressure depression, hot southeasterly winds were pumped from the empty quarter, a desert bordering Saudi Arabia and the UAE, into the country. These resulting dust storms have a tendency to be a nuisance as motorists' visibility is reduced dramatically. Equipment and electronics also have the tendency to be affected because from the smallest sand particles, there is no escape. Being in the storm can be compared to weathering a blizzard of sand and dust. And the stuff just gets... Like I was saying, the stuff just gets everywhere. But this meteorological phenomenon isn't new to the residents of the UAE. Anyone who has lived long enough to experience a seasonal change would have been through one themselves. So I went out to find out what people do in the UAE during a sandstorm. While the streets seemed relatively deserted, the beaches sang a different tune. Strangely enough, I discovered that sandstorms actually led people to congregate in areas where one can find more sand, as well as the sea.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and it's really sandy, there's a lot of wind, and I was planning to come to the beach anyway, and a lot of people I think were put off by the sand, but if it's sandy you may as well come where there's more sand, the beach. You can always cool off in the sea.
I don't complain at all. That was one of the reasons I came down to Dubai, partly to see the sand and to experience it, and no, it doesn't bother me at all.
So there you have it. Where else would you find people coming out to play during rain, thunder and sandstorms? Only in the United Arab Emirates. Khaled Al-Subaihi, Emirates News.
All the way from Ireland, a dynamic duo creates a different illusion of life for the children and adults of the Emirates. Khaled Al-Subaihi reports more.
What's your idea?
Meet the nutty pair Ping and Pong, Dinin and the Naughty Dog, and Orla Ostrich, all of which are an assortment of lovable characters brought together in this 40-minute play featuring characters from the Irish TV series Dinin. The Lambert Puppet Show, which has been traveling the world since 2005, has entertained more than 30,000 children and adults around the globe. Guaranteed to bring out the guffaws of even the parents, this highly visual show with its simple storylines is produced to cater all ages.
What does the dog do? Chase the animals away.
We enjoyed the show very much. I think inside all of us there's a child that enjoys all theatrical events, and it's lovely to see these in Sharjah. We have a perfect venue here.
We often, laugh backstage as we're performing when we hear the deep voices of the daddies laughing at the jokes that the children don't get,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
With 16 puppets speaking in an assortment of accents, Noel Lambert and wife Eva are the only puppeteers behind the scenes. The puppets and their colorful costumes are also fashioned and created by the couple, who have been involved in puppet theaters all their lives.
I started as a child. My mother and father, May and Eugene Lambert, were both puppeteers, and I started working in the family business very, very young, at the age of 6.
Now in the Emirate of Sharjah, Qanat Al-Qasba bring their audiences 2 days of unparalleled laughter and fun.
Our vision here in Qanat Al-Qasba is to be the most visited destination here in Sharjah. The reason we chose the Noel Lambert show is because of the reputation it has, and because it targets the market we're looking for, which one of them is the children.
You can catch the puppet show's last performance on 17th of February at Mall of the Emirates, Dubai.
You silly old crow.
The Lambert Puppet Show is a great source of entertainment and education for little ones. But for adults who are looking for a little self-healing, come on down, revisit the child within. Because I'll even admit, you're never too old for a good old-fashioned puppy show. I'm Khaled Al-Subaihi.
This is Dubai One News.
No. It's Emirates News.
Emirates News?
Yeah.
I thought it was Dubai One News.
No. It's Dubai One TV, and Emirates News is the news broadcast.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Will we do it again?
We'll do it one more time.
Right.
Okay. Khaled Al-Subaihi
on Emirates News.
The Axis of Evil comedy trio performed in Dubai to deliver some laughs and tear down some stereotypes. Khaled Subaihi visits them backstage.
For many people, there's nothing funny about the Middle East. Yet a group of Middle Eastern comics beg to differ. Only strange days such as these could have made possible the Axis of Evil comedy tour, a showcase for 4 Arab American comedians telling jokes about life for people of Middle Eastern descent in the United States. Emirates News took a peek backstage to discover what makes these guys tick.
The trio of Arab American comedians are here to bridge cultural gaps between the West and Arab cultures, with a few laughs on the way.
Audiences especially express admiration for performers Maz Jubrani, Ahmed, and Harun Kader, and their ability to use stand-up comedy as a means to tear down stereotypes that the world forms about Arabs and Muslims in this day and age. Such as...
Well, when we were coming out on tour, they were like, "You're going to the Middle East?" I said, "Yeah." And they go, "Do they speak English there?" And I said, "Does anybody speak English here? Have you been to McDonald's? Nobody speaks English."
Do they speak English? Do they all live in tents? Do they have flying carpets? Are they all blowing each other up?
You know, one of the people working with us is an American girl, and she was kind of scared to come to this region because she thought she was going to get kidnapped or something. But you come out, and people are cool, and they're, you know, they know what's going on in the world, and everyone's very modern and hip and getting it and doing it.
Although getting laughs is their paramount purpose, the comics do address politics, with barbs aimed at various Western leaders and the perceived loss of civil liberties.
In general, I mean, our message is really just, it's a positive message. It's let's get along and you know, laugh together and heal some of these problems out there.
Yet the true ingenuity in their performance lies in their ability to present such a serious message in such a light-hearted and funny way. So my question was, what is funny?
You know, a lot of philosophers have tried to define it. Funny is like surprise.
You know, I mean, I always say Richard Pryor set himself on fire. He did, and then he made it funny. So yeah, it's comedians who make, you know, serious stuff funny as well.
There's an old saying, there's nothing funny about comedy.
The Axis of Evil show was first performed in Washington, D.C. on November 11, 2005 to a sold-out crowd of 1,400. The critically acclaimed performance then burst onto the scene and was able to draw an impressive crowd from around the globe.
But more importantly in the West, to show Middle Eastern people we have a sense of humor. Muslims can laugh at themselves. Arabs can laugh at themselves. So the concept is to prove that fact.
But the Axis of Evil comedy tour now boasts a new addition to the trio. Enter Won-Ho Chung. Although a little wet behind the ears, Won-Ho brings tears of laughter and cheers, being a Korean Vietnamese raised in Jordan.
Well, what I do is I basically act shy on stage, and then I break into an Abdul Halim song.
There will be one more show playing in Dubai tonight. Unfortunately, all tickets have been sold out a while ago. The Axis of Evil comedy tour will perform in Kuwait and then Beirut in the next few days. Khaled Al-Subaihi, Emirates News.
Only a handful of artists have been globally identified as original for their work. Khaled Subaihi visited the art exhibition at the Ladies Club to discover what great thinkers, leaders, and artists have in common.
For centuries, mankind has been inspired by the works of great artists and thinkers. The idea that these magnificent human beings had a purpose that went far beyond intellect begets the question that has been asked by many who have studied their work. What makes great thinkers and great artists? Does it really have to do with the brain and intellect at all? Or is it that these people really have superior brains? Emirates News decided to visit the exhibition hall at the Ladies Club to help answer these questions. Displaying more than 30 artworks along with his sculptures is world-renowned Syrian-born artist Suhail Badur. I won't pretend that I know much about art, but it's hard to miss the charm present in his work. I personally saw many perspectives merge in one face. as if symbolizing lots of answers for lots of questions, merging from a lost soul about an ambiguous existence. In other words, I had more questions to my questions. Perhaps the answer to the mystery of artistry greatness lies within the artist himself. Kay Wise, art manager and student of Suhail's, helped me to paint a better picture of the man behind the artist.
I have a very interesting story. We were watching a spider that was weaving a web and going to catch a fly when we were in the United States. It was near my house. And we watched for a while. It was kind of fascinating, you know, to see the fly was kind of caught in the web and the spider was coming. And, you know, the spider started to catch it, and I think to myself, you know, that's one less fly in the world. This is good. And you know what Suhail did? He took a little stick and he freed the fly. He cannot hurt anything.
It is unfair to say that Suhail's work is in search of an identity, since it has already proved its participation in the world arena. He was the first Arab artist to receive an invitation from the International Center of Asian Art in USA, and to this day holds workshops in universities around the world. When asked where he got his inspiration from,
it's no secret that my mother is the first female I ever painted. Hers is the most important to me. Her existence and presence represented the space and source of love, mercy and happiness. She is my overflowing source of love who gives without limit. She owns the right to be presented in all of my works.
And the answer was staring me right in the face. If we were to extend this investigation to other great men and women of history, we would most likely find the great thinkers and artists of all time also shared it. From Da Vinci, Einstein and Mozart, to Van Gogh and Chopin, to Monet, Picasso, and now Suhail Badur. They had miles and miles of heart. They had a purpose that went far beyond intellect, something so intangible that it could only be attributed to the heart, the sum total of the interior man. I'm Khaled Al-Subaihi, Emirates News.
Dubai Festival Centre was full of life today as the city's 2008 Dragon Boat Festival launched in style. Khaled, tell us more.
Thank you, Hermione. Corporate, community and university groups all signed up to take part, as well as a number of more serious competitive paddlers. But this particular sport isn't as serious as you might expect from your everyday challenge, and muscles and fitness is not necessarily a key to winning here. Dragon boating has come to be associated internationally with fun, excitement and sportsmanship. Take a look.
Dragon boating is growing at a surprising rate across the region. Having 2,500 years of history, originating from China, the sport has become an annual event in many dragon boating countries, including Hong Kong, Germany, Malaysia, South Africa, USA, UK, and now the UAE. The Festival Centre, the heart of Dubai Festival City, played host to Dubai's first ever annual Dragon Boat Festival. The event engaged in a broad spectrum of the UAE community, including corporate and competitive teams, as well as community groups and universities.
Dragon boating is a thrilling water sport full of adrenaline, sportsmanship, technique and strategy. But it's also about positive team spirit, being healthy, making friends and having fun. The spirit of dragon boating.
A typical dragon boat consists of 20 paddlers, a steerer and a drummer. To paddle well and to win, a good crew trained for months to gel, perfect technique, fitness and timing. These fierce dragon boats raced in a vibrant spectacle. More than 50 boats, complete with ornately carved dragon heads and tails, took to the water, all with only one goal: to be the winner of the first ever Dragon Boat Festival.
You know what? It doesn't make a difference whether it's people that are elite and train 10 times a week, or whether it's some corporate team that just rocks up. On the day when they get into the boat, they want to win. Everybody wants to win, and even if you're unfit, even if you're unexperienced, you get in there and basically you're going to give 100%. So yeah, the motivation is there. Even if it's just for fun, the motivation is there.
Experts in other water sports, including kayaking and rowing, were also available to help people with their first attempt at something new. While on dry land, there were plenty of activities for people of all ages.
The water here in Dubai is so nice, and from the Philippines is the same thing. That's why. But I never did this in my country. So this is the first time I do it here in Dubai.
But the obvious highlight of the festival was the vibrant scene as the fierce dragon boats continued to race the length of the creek.
These races will undoubtedly become one of Dubai's most popular events, drawing thousands of interested participants in the years to come. Hermoine.
Thanks, Khaled. That was great.
Thank you.
Hundreds of Harley aficionados enjoyed a 4-day getaway in the picturesque setting of Fujairah as part of an annual motorcycle rally. Members came from throughout the GCC and beyond to share their passion for Harleys and spend a long weekend living it up. Khaled Al-Subaihi takes a ride on his own motorcycle to bring us a complete Harley experience.
What seems like a normal gathering outside the Harley Davidson showroom in Dubai is actually the beginning of a journey into the world of a legend. We are male and female, young and young at heart, but we all share a passion for the brand and everything that it represents. So much so that, second to the word mom, the bar and shield is the most common image to be immortalized in human skin. This morning we ride out to Fujairah to be part of the 9th Middle East Hog Rally. A chance for us Harley aficionados to share our passion for Harley bikes and to spend a long weekend living it up and riding through the mountain terrains of the Eastern Emirate. After a brief meeting, we ride. Harley Davidson is much more than a moto. The bar and shield has become a symbol of freedom, the spirit of the open road, a slap in the face to mainstream sensibilities, a fantasy, a way of life, a noisy declaration of independence, an obsession and an escape. Harley Davidson represents adventure, freedom, individuality, and living life with all 5 of your senses. It is truly a legend. The Harley mystique is all about attitude, a feeling that because you own a Harley Davidson motorcycle, you are special. You belong. The freedom to go somewhere, anywhere, just you on the road and the wind in your hair. And the Middle East Hog Rally stands as a venue to help you do just that.
I mean, the Harley Owners Group, which is HOG, is the biggest motorcycle club in the world. They got more than 1 million members worldwide. We here in the GCC, we try to do something for the bikers in the region. So this is actually the biggest biker festival in the GCC to date.
The Harley Davidson company does not just sell motorcycles. They sell dreams and lifestyles. The brand is so powerful that it can sell products that have little or nothing to do with motorcycles at all. Many people who have never and will never ride a motorcycle still purchase the collectibles and sport Harley brand clothing. In fact, many dealers actually make more money from motor clothes and accessories than they do selling motorcycles.
Of course, we're selling more bikes, which means we're selling more gear. We even now go a step beyond. It's like we're not only targeting riders anymore. We're going to start a new shop in Dubai Mall, and then you're going to target like the main audience. Instead of being a destination shop, we're going to in a shopping mall environment where there's a lot of traffic going on.
The Harley Owners Group is a global organization boasting 1,650 plus chapters in more than 50 countries with roughly 1 million members. The essence of the Harley lifestyle is to dress up in black leather and ride your Harley to the horizon, calling for all the world to see you like an outlaw rather than the mild-mannered citizen you are the rest of the week. However, today's Harley owner is more likely to be a dental hygienist, trucker, or coffee shop owner than a rebel without a cause.
It was really started to dispel the myth about the guys dressed in black and wearing leather and riding Harley Davidsons were all bad, because that was the image given to the public by people like the Hells Angels and the Banditos, because they all rode Harley Davidsons. So HOG was started to try and dispel that myth.
And all who have experienced riding with the HOG want to experience that feeling of belonging to the largest fraternity on earth. I'm Khaled Al-Subaihi, Emirates News.